So that was Children's March by Percy Granger. You heard a lot of different instruments that wouldn't normally play in a march. Piano, English horn, bass clarinet is in there. The next type of march is Circus March. It's usually played really, really quickly, between 130 to 170 beats per minute. And the reason why there's such a big difference is because it depended on what the circus performer wanted. If they wanted the music faster, then the band had to play it faster. Circus marches usually reflect the circus, so they're going to sound fun and pageantry-ish. They're going to be a different kind of march because they're used for circuses and not the military. Rhythmic precision is essential, like all marches. The Circus March does have unwritten accents that you're supposed to play because that's just the practice, the common practice when you play circus marches. Examples of circus marches are Entry of the Gladiators and The Circus Bee. Our listening example is Barnum and Bailey's Favorite, which is written by Carl King, who is a very famous American march composer. So that was Barnum and Bailey's Favorite. And in case you were wondering, the really tall guy is not Carl L. King. He is just a circus performer. The next type of march are gallops. Gallops are military marches played very fast. Because they're played so fast, they're usually pretty simply written. There's two types of gallops: a dance gallop, which is very European. It's not very popular in American march literature. Circus gallops, though, are almost entirely American marches. Most are written in 2/4 meter. They're played as fast as 240 beats per minute. And there's usually a steady eighth note drum pattern to give the illusion of speed. Gallops have recently found a rejuvenation among composers. So, for example, Smyer played the Boom Boom Gallop by Randall Standridge, and that's just like one of 60 gallops that have been composed recently. So I think younger students really like gallops, and so that's kind of a genre that's coming back in band music. Examples of gallops are Rough Riders by Carl L. King, and today we're listening to Shostakovich, and his gallop is entitled Gallop. of march we're going to listen to is called a patrol. Patrols are a very small niche of march riding. They're not very popular anymore. They're intended to simulate the sound of a band marching past the listener. So as a listener, I'm going to hear the band approaching in the distance, passing right in front of me, and then finally marching off. The effect is accomplished by a gradual crescendo. The tempo needs to remain the same. Smyre High School Band performed a patrol-style march for UIL, not in 2018. I think it was 2017, but it's entitled The March of the Belgian Paratroopers, and it was by Pierre Liman. Today, though, we're listening to American Patrol, which is by Frank Meacham. So you can hear that it started off much more softly, and then the band came and they were playing right in front of us, and now we could hear a drum break, and they're going to kind of slowly go away. Sorry about that. Next, we are going to be talking about funeral marches. Funeral marches are also referred to as dirges. I usually joke around at the beginning of the marching season that we're playing the fight song like a dirge. Funeral marches are functional because they're used to accompany a deceased party to a cemetery or provide the correct atmosphere at funerals or memorial services. They're typically played about 72 beats per minute. Sometimes they have rounded staccato playing, typical of a march, and sometimes they have lyric legato playing. There's really no style requisite for funeral marches. Examples of funeral marches are Funeral March by Chopin. That is actually composed for piano, but it's probably the most famous of all funeral marches. We also have In Memoriam for President Garfield's funeral. That's by John Philip Sousa. And today we're listening to Funeral March, dedicated to the memory of Abraham Lincoln.